to share with you what I have growing in my greenhouse. This is my little greenhouse that I have. It fits one person in there, 2 people if you're squishing. So if you're trying to work in there, really just the one. Sometimes a dog sneaks in there and lays at my feet, but it's not very big. It is an upgrade from my last greenhouse. So my last one, you'll be able to see the shelves in the back. It has 3 sides with shelves. This greenhouse I ordered online. I think I got it on Amazon actually last summer, in the middle of summer. So that I would have it for this fall and winter to start my seeds. And so it's an upgrade from my last one. My last one is actually the one in the back there. This one here. I just took the green cover off of it and I'm just using the shelves because this bigger greenhouse only came with the 2 sides of shelves, and so the whole back was just bare. So I added those shelves. There's a little bit of a corner situation now, but that's okay. It gives me a lot more storage space in there. I can hold a lot more seed trays. So let's take a little tour of that. So I really like this greenhouse. It zips up both sides of the door. So in the warmer days, in the middle of the day, you can unzip and roll this up, and then it has these ties. Now I wish the ties were Velcro, so I might actually add Velcro to it, just because that's what my last greenhouse had, and it made it so much easier. These ones you have to tie, so you have to be a little bit coordinated while you have the door rolled up here. Then you have to hold it up somehow and then tie a knot or bow. So I might just add Velcro strips onto there so it's easier to do with one hand while you're holding up the door. Other than that, I've really liked this greenhouse. We have it ratchet strapped to this pole here so that it doesn't blow away, especially when the winds get really high. But it's been really nice. So it came with the 2 side shelves. Don't mind my mess in here. I need to organize a little bit. So it came with these longer side shelves. It's just got the 2 layers, but so then there's the floor and then 2 shelves. Same with the right side, and these go all the way back. And so I had this open space in the back. That's the whole back wall. So that's my old greenhouse shelving. I just took the green mesh off of it and added it as shelving in here, and it fits perfectly. So in here I have all of my gloves. I have some trays that I would use. I actually just transplanted out of these trays. These were my brassicas. So I took the broccoli and cauliflower and cabbages and I just transplanted them into the garden. I have my basket I usually use to collect all of my smaller vegetables in the spring and summer, so cucumbers, tomatoes, that kind of stuff. I have all my tools in that right now because I'm not using it. I have an extra tray to help carry my pots. All of these are biodegradable pots. I plan on using them this spring and summer when I'm gonna sell my starts, so I can sell them individually in those pots, and then my customers can just they have a hole in the bottom, but you can kind of break open the bottom and just plant them directly in the pot, and the pot will break down, the roots will grow through it, and it actually adds some organic matter to your garden. So then I have some more pots on the bottom, my 2 seed start trays with all different kinds of things in there. I have some more potting soil, some more buckets, and these kinds of things I use to sort seeds. So like my marigold seeds, when I was picking the heads and stuff, I used those. And then I have more gloves that I've used, my watering can, another watering can. Both of these have they each have a different spout. So this one is just straightforward, and then this one has the rain spout on it. And then on the bottom I have some diatomaceous earth, and I was sprinkling that around my starts in the raised bed to prevent beetles from going and eating my plants, because the diatomaceous earth, it is food grade and it is organic. It's basically tiny organisms that have been dried out, and it's just their skeletal shell, and it basically works like mini razor blades, and so the beetles crawl across it and the little skeletons get stuck in their crevices and end up breaking them down. So, and then the wheel is actually a new wheel for my wheelbarrow that I just got. So let's talk about the plants that I have in here. So I brought you in here to show you that I have some herbs growing. It is December, so it's very cold. Not as cold as other places. We're only in 9B, so we get down to like maybe 32 at nights. Recently it's been like 34 to 36 at night at the coldest, and then the days are right around low to mid 60s. So it's not too bad here, but it is cold for us when we're used to 110-degree summers. So it's been a really nice change. I love this weather. But there are a few things that grow this time of year, and so I'm going to show you what I have in my greenhouse. So besides the plants that I have growing out in the garden, the frost tolerant plants, the cold hardy ones, like I have lettuces and spinach and cabbage and broccoli and Brussels sprouts. All of those are cold hardy plants, frost tolerant, so they're all outside in the green or in the raised bed. In here I have mainly my herbs that I started. I do have some celery and some more spinach that I started, and I have more celery down here. I'm hoping that they grow faster being in the warmer climate in the greenhouse, and then when they get big enough I'll start taking them out and hardening them off so I can transplant them. But I really wanted to keep the herbs in here over the winter because I did start them from seed a few months ago, and they're doing really well with the heat in the greenhouse. As you can see, I have parsley, sage, back here is thyme, and I have spearmint. Now these are cold tolerant or cold hardy herbs, but because I started them from seed and they're not very big, I wanted to keep them in the greenhouse. I will probably transplant them in a few months here in the spring, maybe in February, when they get a little bit bigger. That way they have time to grow in here, and then I can bring them out and adjust them to the temperature outside, and then they'll be able to grow all spring and all summer. I'm gonna put them on the side of the house that gets the least amount of sun so that they'll stay in the shade, so that during the hot summer months they won't completely die. And then they'll be able to slowly adjust to the fall and winter weather next year. So they should be okay if I were to bring them outside now, but I'd rather just wait. I have never been successful at growing herbs, so I wanted to try them in the greenhouse this year just to see if I could actually do it. It was kind of just a fun little experiment, but they're doing really well. It's really neat to see these little sage plants and how their first little leaves, but then their true leaves come out and they're so different. And you can really tell it's a sage plant, and they have all these wrinkly leaves and they smell so good. So that's been really neat to watch them grow. And then same with the parsley, because the parsley has these very distinct leaves, but their first leaves the ones that they sprout with are not like that at all. And so that's why a lot of the times with plants, you can never tell, like if you forget to label them, you can't always tell what they are when they first sprout up, because their first two leaves are not the same. They don't look the same as their true leaves that come out. So sometimes you have to wait until their true leaves come out before you can tell what you planted there. So I just wanted to show you what I have growing in my greenhouse. Keeping them in the greenhouse over the winter because it is a lot warmer in here, especially in the evenings. It traps the heat from the day, and then it blocks the wind in the evening, and then the frost that we get doesn't affect anything in here. So I am going to keep them in here for the winter this year, and then I'll transplant them out so the next year they will be full plants and they'll be much more hardy. They'll be able to survive next winter outside. I just don't want to risk losing them in this winter. Thank you for joining me today. I just wanted to give you a little show of what I'm doing in my greenhouse this winter, just so you can have an idea of some other plants that you can grow in the winter and the fall when there's not that much. It's also a little more exciting because fall plants and winter plants, they grow so slow because the weather is so much colder. It takes them much longer to mature. And so, like, I've been going out to my raised beds every day and I can't tell the change, but they definitely don't grow as fast as the spring and summer plants. So to keep me a little happier and to pacify my urge to plant new plants, I'm starting these herbs in the greenhouse, and so we'll see how they do. I'll give you updates as I do updates on my regular garden and show you the progress of these herbs. So thank you for joining me. I hope this helped encourage you to grow more things, and we will see you next time.